Hello. This is my second attempt at this live stream. So if you're watching this in the future, you'll know that I've started and then the some sort of power surge happened. So I had to restart because it set off an alarm in my surge protector box. So let's see if I can get you all back here. I had to reset up all the cameras and all that really quickly, so it does kind of change things a little bit. But we didn't get very far, and so I'm just going to start over. I think it's all going to be just fine. Yes, and we're back. Terry, you found me. Great. Okay, let's see. Is this the one where you're at right now? No, that is not the one where you're at right now. Yeah, I can see actually the other, the other one. Let me see. Let's see if I can get in there. All right. Sorry, just fast forward to when I start actually working and you'll find me. Oh my gosh, you guys. That's the second time that's ever happened to me. That's not bad in like a year and a half, year and 3/4 of streaming, right? And no one's there. No one's out there, so I don't know what happened. Such a weird little thing. So, anyway. So today I am actually, yeah, she ran away, exactly. I can see the other chat in the I can't find my current one right now because it's still on the old one. So let's see here. Let's see if I can find you guys. I think it's this one right here. Yep, this is it. Okay, cool. Found you. Yep. Sydney, hi. I think I lost you right when you had joined. Hi, Karen. Up and running. Exactly. All right, cool. Cool. Sorry about that, you guys. So weird. And you know, it's funny. All the weird little things we have, editing videos is still harder. Okay, so I'm just going to start over again. Hopefully if I forget to repeat something, one of you guys will remind me. So today I am taking my ginger jeans pattern, and you can probably use any kind of jean pattern you have, stretch or non-stretch. And I'm going to turn it into a jean skirt pattern because I kind of want some bottoms that are more for summer, but a little dressier than shorts and a little more comfortable than shorts. Because honestly, jean shorts are a little bit hot where I live, especially, and they're not very comfortable like over the course of the day. Just, I don't know. Oh, you're playing Animal Crossing? Oh my gosh, Sydney, you know my weird fascination with that game. Oh, I didn't zoom my camera in, so hopefully I can't really get rid of all that other stuff the way this camera is. Let's see if I can do this. There's so many cords in my life. Okay. All right. Yeah, so anyway, I feel like if you're going to be if you are kind of a little nervous about doing jeans and, or maybe you've done a pair and they haven't fit that great, maybe a skirt is a really great option. It's less hard to fit because you're only worried about the your circular measurement rather than the leg, thigh, hip region. You just really need to fit your trunk. It's much easier that way. There's no other cylinders attached to your main cylinder, right? So just remember that the skirt is going to sit at the narrowest spot that it can fit. So if it's going to, you can make the waistband really small and want to have it low rise, and it's not going to do that. It's going to shimmy, Cocoa Pop all the way up to that narrowest spot. So, and if it's too big, and you don't have some sort of girth below it that's a increased size than the circumference that it's at, you can lose your skirt. So just make sure it's, if you're just using your regular jean skirt pattern and maybe it was a little tight and you don't mind it being a little higher up on you, then I would try it out and see if it works. So yeah, time suck, exactly. My friend says it's a beautiful version of Minecraft. I just love watching clips of people being chased by wasps and tarantulas. I know, it sounds terrible. I'm actually a pretty nice person, but there's something about that makes me laugh so much, and I don't even know anything about that game. But I see clips of it, and it just cracks me up. I finally got one from my nephew. He's 11. He sent one to me, and he said to my sister, his mom, he said, I just ran right into them, and it must like create this animation like once you hit the tree and then the wasps come out. that you don't have any control over your character at that point. Like you just run right into them or something. I don't know. Anyway. All right, so I'm using my Ginger Jeans pattern that I have kind of modified over the few pairs I've made. And you can look back at past streams to see how I do that. You're only going to need your front and your back to make your jean skirt. All the other pattern pieces, you can just leave those. So this is like the most basic pattern drafting we can get for it's like the most bang for our buck. Hi, Raquel. You're on our second stream here. We already crashed one. So just grab your front and your back. I've traced mine off. Don't forget to trace the grain line, like mark it on the paper because it's really hard to find it later. And your pocket for your back. And then make sure you get your center front waist. This is the belt loop notch. And then you really need this little mark for doing your zipper fly if it's on the pattern you're using. Hey, Eliza. Welcome back. All right, so here we are. I've already traced mine. It's almost like an edited video now, right? We already did part of it. Now we're on the meat of the equation. I'm trying to hang my pattern pieces up and they won't go up. There we go. All right, so let's move these. Here's the little skirt I'm making. Just a simple not even 5 pocket, 4 pocket. I'm not into coin pockets. I'm not into belt loops either, so I won't do those. I won't cut and sew those. But we will cut and sew this next week. If you want to do a zipper fly, this is still going to have a zipper fly on it. So you'll at least get to practice that without having to do the whole pair of jeans. That's kind of nice too, you know. I'll mark I have little holes right here to mark my pocket. Just remember, this is something I always forget, so maybe you don't need this reminder. This is not the waist on the back. That is the yoke seam. So remember, the yoke is the waist. So when you are looking at where your jean skirt's going to sit, you might want to measure the waistband or tape your pattern pieces together and measure the waist and see. Just remember that there is an extension on that waistband because it sits behind when it comes together at the center front to button. So don't forget there's a little extension there. There is a center front notch on the pattern. That is where your your waistline total circumference should land. All right. So I took a few measurements of my Ginger Jeans and myself and kind of figured out what I want out of my skirt. So I know the waist is 34 and then I measured this and this is 35, so that's fine. I know I want the length to be about 21 inches measured from the side seam. I like side seam lengths when I go for things because it's kind of the most neutral spot on you. It's kind of like how I've talked about measuring length in a garment. Like you don't measure here unless you know where this is, where your neckline is, right? You don't use this as your 0 point. I always use the high point at my shoulder because this is kind of the most neutral spot to measure the length. And it goes over the bust and then you can find your length of the garment you want. Same thing with bottoms. I always look at the side seam because the center front, especially for something like this where we have a rise right here, we're kind of ignoring it and we're finding our length. My belly is going to make this rise kind of dip a little bit without doing the full belly adjustment. And then the back, same thing. I mean, like your butt and your belly are such variables. The side seam is a little firmer on the body and it might be a little better spot to find that neutral place where you want to know what length you're going to make your skirt. So I determined I wanted 21. I'm going to get the pocket stay. So this one actually has an actual pocket stay. Who was that we were trying? Was that you, Angela? Did Angela find her way back? When we were trying to do the pocket stay on the Morgan jeans, and I only got a pocket stay on one side, the little tummy band. So this one has it built in, and I'll try to remember and sew it correctly because I always forget to do this one correctly. You'll need that to find the top of your waistband here. So you can just trace this here, fill it in, and now we have our side seam there. And the other thing other measurement I got was my hip, my fullest part, and about how far down that was, which was 8 inches, and the hem circumference of the skirt, because I feel like that kind of thing is where you could go wrong with your jean skirt, because if you make it too small, you might go for the pencil style. If you make it too big, you might get A-line, and both those are completely valid directions to go with your skirt. You just want to make sure that you pick the hem circumference that you want out of your jean skirt. Oh, okay, Angela. I just remember someone suggesting, maybe that was, you know what it is? Sometimes I know you guys by the color of your names, because your names come up pretty, like Mullins is always royal blue. And Ray's is always like grass green. Sydney's is always turquoise. Same with Raquel's. What really throws me is sometimes both Raquel's will both be yellow. Today you're kind of a like lime yellow for me, Angela. And I think Daphne, it might have been Daphne because her color is the same as her chat. Louise is always a golden yellow. I know you more than your colors, you guys, I promise. But that's what I see. I'm very visual. All right, so I'm going to also mark this. That is not a random dot. That is the slit you make to do the fly. Okay, so let's measure my length. I'm going to do that first. This has a pretty sure 5/8 inch seam allowance. I looked everywhere today. Could not find that information. And I'm just going to measure down the length I'm looking for, which is about 21. Right here. I'm going to square off from my grain line to this line. This may not be where this ends up, but that's how I'm going to start right now. I'm probably going to kick this out as well. So let's get our yoke. I said you didn't need these pattern pieces, but you kind of do just to find these things. You don't see colors? You know, I'm looking at the chat on YouTube. If I look at it in my stream software, you guys are all, I think, the same color. And that's really confusing for me. It's also too small of a font. Oh, at least on this, I see your pictures. Oh, I like that. I'm going to keep that. But I just can't see it very, that's pretty cool. I love that I can see your thumbnails or logos or whatever. It's tiny. But yeah, that's probably what you guys see. That's funny. I'm looking at it just on the YouTube one. And it just shows up for me as colors. That's awesome, Malin. It was lucky. It must have known. All right, so here's my... Oof. It's barely on there. It's like about right here. A little bit. So we'll just kind of wing that. Like this. About right there. That's 3. 18. You know, you can always make your skirt a little bit longer and then hem it to the length that you want. In fashion school, the default length for a skirt is 18 inches. That's a little short for me these days. But it's a pretty good starter length. Alright, so I'm using my grain line as the perpendicular hem line. Your grain line is always perpendicular to the hem. So now that we have this little, it's not a 0, 0, but we have this nice little perpendicular line, it's kind of helpful for measuring a few other things as well. So this is our hem circumference right now. So let's measure this. Let's see what we got. And I'm gonna look at my hip. So this is 9.5. I'm taking off the seam allowance here like this. I'm making it really easy. Usually I would just do the math of my head, but I can't do performance math. It's just one of my failings. 7 7/8. Love it when it's weird. I know, Eliza, right? Hey, Glenn, how's it going? Hey, Conrad. Conrad, hi. I know you. I know Conrad from Twitch. How's it going? We're making a jean skirt from a pair of jeans pattern. So This is what I do, Conrad. I think I'm getting like all flustered. Yeah, Eliza, I'm about the same height. 18 is kind of short. It might be a generational thing. I don't know. All right, so my hip, where I'm going to measure the fullest part on my pattern is 8 inches down from my waist. Yours might be in a different spot. I would just kind of look, maybe measure your fullest parts, find it, and then measure from the waistband where you think this waistband is. If you've already made your jeans, try them on, and then that's a really good spot to try. So mine is about right here, 8 inches. And then we'll square across. See, now, Conrad, you know where I go when I don't stay in chat. When I'm busy. All right, 8 1/8. I'm looking for this waist over here. 8 1/8 right here. Same thing. So I'm using that grain line right there to square over so that I get this nice long line to measure against, right? So now this is my hip line. Always use this grain line. This is really important to trace off when we first transferred this pattern to the paper today, right? Nice. Yeah. Yeah, well, Conrad's in one of the only Twitch chats that I would tell people who I really am in real life. Not even people I play games with online know I do this, you guys. So it's kind of funny. I wouldn't want them to be coming over here and really giving me a hard time because they know me so well. They would totally do that. Right, Conrad? I know. It totally is. Yep. I've been making masks lately, Conrad, for people, so I've been kind of like not joining any of the Twitch chats because I've been so busy and tired. I'm working so hard, I have to just have music on, you know? All right, so now we have our hip line here. Let's measure this. I just write it right there on the paper. It's 11 plus a tiny bit. That's my version of saying a 1/16 of an inch. All right, so I'm just taking off my seam allowance there and measuring straight across there, 10 7/8. I got an old school calculator. The 8 1/8, 8 inches, you mean, down from the waist for me. So Eliza, I've found, so where I found my fullest part on my body, the hip below the waist, your hip, whether it's your high hip, your low hip, whatever it is, I don't care what you call it, whatever the fullest part is, I want you to measure that. And that I want you also to figure out how far away from the waistband or your waist seam that you think your jeans are. I want you to find out where that is in relation to it so you know where it is in relation to on the pattern. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's about the knee, Janice. Exactly. I have a skirt that I kind of used as a gauge. So it's probably for me, I'm short-waisted, longer below my waist. So it's probably like right at the crest of my kneecap, right about the top there. So that, and if you have a full booty, you're going to need more in the back, you guys. Make it a little longer. I would go longer anyway, but you know, like one of the things I was trying to do was use denim remnants, because typically when you buy denim, the people who sell it will sell it in a pre-cut length. So then you always have this weird half yard extra. I always have this weird half yard extra because it's so wide. I don't know who could use that other half yard. You'd have to be 8 feet tall to get all of your jeans to use up that fabric. And so I always have this weird half yard, but sometimes I'll cut little chunks off for sewing samples, or I'll do tutorials with you guys to sew a zipper flyer, things like that. And I will eat into it a little bit. And now I don't really have the full half yard, but I was trying to use that for this. So maybe you don't have that extra to just make your skirt a little longer and then hem up to what you want, but that's what I would do. That's without the hem allowance as well, Janice. Okay, great, Eliza. That makes sense. I feel like I'm rushing because the stream crashed earlier and I'm trying to catch up with some imaginary person right now. I'll just calm down. How's that? So, yeah, so you just need to find where this hip line is in relation to the waist seam of these jeans you're doing, because you need to find this fullest amount. Because remember, the hip line, I'm pretty sure, isn't marked on the pattern for the ginger jeans, or most of the indie pattern companies don't mark hip line anymore. They might mark the crotch line, but that's not helping you here. And we're going to make this, you know, not have this whole area right here. We're going to delete that. So you got to make sure that this is still going to fit over your hips. And finding this fullest part, because this is right here, you know, when this is coming down on your body, this is the center back along your spine, right? It's coming down. And then at a certain point, it starts going around your leg. So, you know, right about here, if you were to look at your pants are that pattern I always tell you guys is a bifurcated pattern, right? So you have one cylinder going into another cylinder. So you have this really weird fit issue for everybody that wears pants, that you're trying to fit one cylinder on the top part of the pattern, and then the bottom part of the pattern, because this right here, this is one cylinder, and then here, this is its own little cylinder, right? So this is one cylinder, and then this with the other front at the top, that's one cylinder. And when you start thinking about it that way, you start realizing how complicated it is, but also where you can kind of focus where you want these measurements to be. Because remember, we're just doing a skirt. We're kind of just trimming off the crotch area, the rise. We don't really need that anymore. So that's why I use the side seam as a length guide as well. All right, so I got my old school calculator out here because I can't do performance math. And it didn't press the button. 10.875 plus 11 times 2. So find your total hip. My jeans say 43 1/4 or 3/4, and I determined that I want a 43-inch hip. Perfect. So now I know. This doesn't have an off button. Okay, I don't know how to shut that. So now you know your total hip. So make sure you write down your total hip that is on your pants, and does that jive with your total hip in real life? And if it does, you know now that your skirt from this point needs to fall the way you want it to fall. So as long as you've got that full amount in this area, and if you don't, you need to add to your hip, you're going to add to it in the side seam. You're probably not going to have to add very much if you've already made this pair of pants, or you've troubleshot the fit on them at all. You're just really focused on this upper part right here, because this is the part that's going to go around your torso, and then everything from below is just the length of the skirt. All right, so you could just go straight down if you want, but I think you're going to find that that could be, well, I'm not sure actually. Let's check it out. So let's find our center line here. So this is our center line. This little notch right here is your center, and it goes into that seam allowance, right? You need to leave this. And here is the rise. So now at this point, we're just going to go straight down. So this is going to go, let's see what that is. That's, I was going to tell you it was at 14, but I knew you wouldn't believe me. So let's square this down like this. So I want you to find what this measurement is away from your, say your grain line. It doesn't matter where you do this. I'm going to use this grain line as a parallel line. Now you're understanding it with pant, any type of pant pattern drafting, how important this grain line is. It's kind of your 0 point. Everything gets measured from it. You need it to balance. And when you cut fabric like twill or denim out that has a tendency to torque, you really need to pay attention to this grain line. So, May. Hi, this is such a treat today. I saw Conrad. How's it going? How are you doing? Are you sewing anything these days? We're making a jean skirt pattern from jeans. All right, so You guys are going to ignore your fly extension here. Don't worry about that. If it bugs you, you know, just think of this right here as your center front, right? So here's your center front. Here, I'll give you a better guide. So this is 3 inches away, and we'll do a 3-inch away line parallel to the grain line. The 3-inch number is not an important number. I just am trying to get a straight line parallel to this grain line. That's all I'm trying to focus on right now. So now I know it's about right there. And I kind of like that this swung away a little bit. So that's why I was kind of focusing on that. But you don't really need to. Just depends where your rise looks like. Your rise might actually sit further out and be a little bit shallower right here. Maybe you've done some adjustments, some fit adjustments. So it just depends. Yeah, we're just making a jean skirt from a jeans pattern we've done before. That's all. So we're doing a little pattern drafting today. I'm kind of going quick. Hopefully you guys aren't going to kill me how fast I'm going. Because we're going to cut them out today as well. Really? It's still on? Let me delete it. Let's see if I can get rid of it. Yeah, so I had my what you call it? My surge protector thingy. The alarm went off. It was really weird. So let me try and get rid of it. Watch me crash something else now. This is that one, right? And this is the one they both say I'm live. More actions. Delete forever. Oh, God. That makes me nervous every time. It's going to say deleting now for the longest time. Okay. Let's hope that doesn't do anything. Okay, so like I said, you're going to find the center front, and you're going to, now we're focusing on the seam down the center of your skirt right there, right? So this needs to be a straight line. You can't have any whoop-de-doos in there. It needs to be a straight line, you know? So I'm going to use this because I don't mind a little extra through my hip there, and as my, and then I also don't have to monkey around with any of this changing here. I can just leave these markings for my zipper fly the same, and I suggest you do the same. Because you took your total hip amount right here. This is another reason to think about using this as far over as possible, is if this rise goes, kind of swings out past this center front line right here too much, you might lose a little bit of that hip girth that you just checked, right? So you need to make sure that we're not altering this hip. So find the center front, and then we're going to check our hip again. So we got our center front right there. I have the 5/8 inch seam allowance in there as well. You guys need to make sure, tell me I'm still live. I didn't just do something. So that's our new line. Okay. We're going to square it off down here as well. And we're still determining this hem circumference here. All right. I got to check. I'm totally nervous about it. It says excellent condition. Okay. YouTube, man. YouTube. It's so much more complicated than Twitch. Okay. So let's look at the back now. Let's find our center on our back as well. So the back is a little different. How do we do the back? I have to remember this. Now it's okay that you have a little bit of this angle here, but we don't really need it like we did with the other. Okay, good. Thanks, guys. They always reassure me. I really love that. So let's see here. If we don't really want to go straight up from this hip right here because we'll add to our waist back here. So, but you can also use this opportunity to add a little bit of flare to the back, but yeah, I don't really want any flare back there as well. So let's see here. Probably should have reminded myself how to do this. Let's see here. We have our yoke is right here, remember? Let me think about this. Oof, I'm actually a little stymied on this. Yeah, so I think I am going to swing this out a little bit. Ooh. Can I just, I just need to do a few drawings here. Let me think about this here. Sometimes I just need to like act it out and see what it's going to happen here. I can do that. I can swing that and then maybe bring this in a little bit and get my center back. I think that works. I'm going to focus on where my hip is, the hip juncture is with the rise back here, and I'm going to square up from that point right there. You're probably going to have to use your own judgment on this because this line right here, this rise, can vary drastically from pattern to pattern. It's why some people rave about that pattern fitting them really well and it doesn't fit us really well, right? So you have to kind of figure out, plus if you've done any modifications to the rise to accommodate any fit issues that you wanted to solve, this line can be a little bit all over the place. So for me, I'm going to kind of split the difference. I'm going to take where this hip line juncture is with the rise, and I'm going to square up and down from my grain line here. And let's see here, it's about right there, about right there. Right there. And I need to add my seam allowance as well. 5/8. 5/8. There we go. And so now look at how much I've added right here. So let's get our yoke out. So we have our yoke here. Now the yoke, when you lay your yoke on here, it doesn't just fit perfectly usually because that's where they put the dart to get the fitting that you need on the back side of your pants. It's how you can not have a dart going this way from the waist down into the pant. The yoke is why you use it. The yoke is why you get the shaping you get back there, right? So if I were to line this up only at the center back right here, you would see I have this little wedge right here. That is the dart. So basically the dart that would normally be right here has been pivoted into the yoke seam. So that's all that is, right? And so sometimes people will get rid of it thinking that it's an error and then you have no fitting across your back and your pants sit away from your waist. This is, bye May, nice seeing ya. This is why you get the curve across the back waist, and the more curve you put in here, you know, you can make even more if you want. Like I've definitely slashed into this and overlapped my back right here. And then this curve gets a little bit more prominent, but I get more curve here, and then it hugs my back waist a little bit. And I've talked about this in past jeans making videos. So let's look at how much I'm changing this right now. This is probably the scariest of all the changes here. And I'm kind of rethinking. I'm like, do I really need to do that? It's so much. Because you know what? I could just like straighten it off about right here and then add this to the hip. That would be actually an easier change. And then I haven't changed any of this back here, up here. So let me think about that. Let's line that up right there. That would be our, this would be our natural way the jeans would be. I haven't done this for years. So if I move this over, let's say we wanted to do this as our center back. What does that look like? No, I feel like it can go like this. It can kind of come at a curve like that. Yeah, why not? Hey, Megan, did you find me again? I'm trying to even think if I've ever sewn a jean skirt before. I have one here. Maybe I should look at it. It does have a little bit of curve on the back. Now I feel like I'm steering you guys in an interesting direction here. If I go like this, what do I get there? Yeah, I'm leaving that. I'm leaving that. I'm going to try and leave this right here and make that my center back and blend it like this. That's my plan. All right. You guys can watch and see how it goes when I sew it to decide. I'm going to shave it off a little bit. Like that. This is my line. All right, so to reiterate what I did was I tried to keep the fullness that's on my hip line right here because we determined where this hip line was from the waist seam. Eliza, well, that's what I don't think so because you have a butt. You know, like if you look at some patterns, yeah, you guys are right on track. If you look at some patterns, when you look, like say really fancy dresses with a center back seam, it does this. It does this exact thing. It molds. It's called a molded back. So I am going to take a chance and leave it just like that for now. Because this is my dart, right? Look at it that way. Yeah, well, I do, Megan, but I've already also added it through here on the top of my pattern. This is my, fullest part area. So what if you thought of it as this is a dart right here? So you guys can't see it. This is the center line. This right here is the dart that is at the back, center back waist. I made them 14 to 16 inches. I think 16 inches is nicer. I know that number right off the top of my head. Yeah, so and I'm going to shave it off a little bit. This right here, shave all this off. Like that. And now I'm going to focus on my hem circumference. You're going to see this come out like this. Let me look at it right side up. Yeah, actually, maybe I will go like this. I'm going to shave a little more. Yeah, I like that. I have kind of a full butt, so. Yeah, I think 8 inches is better too than 7. 7 seems kind of tight. Depends on how you sew them, but. I'm just going to try and get this a little bit less extreme here. I want this line right here to be perpendicular to the bottom here, and I think that's what I'm going to go by right here. This perpendicular line. And now I'm going to look at my hip circumference again. Let's see. This was 10 7/8, and now it's 10. So I need to add about 7/8 of an inch down here. Like this. And I can kind of blend this in. I'm going to kind of take out a little bit of that and add it somewhere else so it's not too extreme. So I'm just trying to keep this balanced. You really need to keep this line right here, this grain line, in perspective. I don't really want this to be too drastic, but I'm leaving that curve in there. It's going to be fine. It's going to go across my butt. It's going to get filled in. Hi, Beverly. For denim, you mean? I do the full cycle. It depends, Beverly. It depends on what it is, but usually if I'm doing a lot of fabric, I just do the full cycle. But if I'm only doing 1 or 2 things, I do the I have something called rapid wash, and I do that. And I only add a little detergent to take off the sizing, like just to kind of not have that new fabric smell. I don't like that smell. All right, so let me just be a little bit more clear about what I'm doing here because I know it probably looks a little weird. It looks a little weird to me, actually. Any fabric. Yeah, I mean, certain things definitely, I'm a little gentler with, like rayons and stuff, because I usually wash and dry it exactly how I plan on wash and dry the garment. So I find that if you pre-wash something for shrinkage, if you really want to make sure all the shrinkage is gone, you should probably do it a couple times, the whole thing. because my things keep shrinking. So, but if it's like a rayon fabric I'm using for a dress, I will probably do rapid wash and then put it in the dryer on low for 20 to 30 minutes. That's how I'll probably dry it. And on denim, they say not to wash things. So, yeah, right, Eliza, you could totally add to the outside. And that's the thing. You need to make sure you have your full hip, because what I'm trying to do here is find a straight seam back here, but you guys got to remember that this is just a dart, right? It's just this gap right here, right? So, and I kind of have a gap right there because I get full pretty quick. Oh, nice, Beverly. Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that those can shrink a little bit a couple times. So I would get rid of all of it unless you plan on being really gentle with it. So, all right, so I'm finding this center, because by the time I get down to the hem, I need this to be a straight line, unless you're going for a really flared skirt. But chances are you don't really add flare to the center back. It's kind of a weird place to do it, unless you're doing like a really specific style skirt. Forward loads, oh, I wouldn't do them separately. I would just do them together, unless it's a lot of fabric. Yeah. I would just do them together, unless they're like the colors are going to bleed or whatever. I'm pretty cavalier with that stuff, you guys. I may not be the expert on that. I gotta say, I just treat it the way I'm going to treat it, and I'm really hard on my clothes. So, unless it's synthetics or wools, then I'm pretty wash and wear everything. So this is that center back seam I want. We're also going to put a little vent here, a little kick pleat there. And, you know, like that does seem like a really drastic dart, but that is kind of how my back is. So, you know, it really helps to have that kind of shaping. You know, this is really what it looks like. Looks like that. Yeah. And this is going to go over my booty right here. Come straight down. I don't think I'm going to get a hump there at all. And if I do, I'll just smooth it out once I sew it, because it's kind of a working muslin, right? That's a pretty easy area to smooth out. I mean, maybe, you know, checking it out before you top stitch that center back seam and then adjusting it if you need to. Cool, nice. The curve would also add a little bit of length, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, is like, this is a dart right here that I'm giving myself there, that it was already there, remember? That was already there, and it doesn't poke out on me now. It's been a while since I did this, you guys. Sorry. All right, so let's look at our hem circumference. And so, in my hip, so I actually lost a little bit in my hip by doing this kind of smooth line. I kind of shaved a little bit right here off. And I need to add that back a little bit unless I had it to lose. So I added most of it back there, and I think I'm just going to kind of see what my hem circumference is, how the front is looking, and see where that other 3/8 is I can grab back. Because that 3/8 right there is 3/4 of an inch total. So, all right, so let's look at our hem circumference. Here is my current. And then this, let's just measure straight across here. I want my hem to be about 44 inches. So right now, I have, let's say if I went to there, that would be 11 inches plus 5/8. That would be 11. So I basically need 11 inches on the front as well. And where would that put that? That would put it about here, plus 5/8. That actually looks pretty good. And look at that. I can actually get my 3/8 of an inch back too. Right there. I'm kind of I'm looking to see my parallel lines. There's a lot of lines to look at here. All right. So I'm going to call it here. I still need my hem allowance. This is my hem line. This is my new cutting line here. I'm going to measure over 11 inches from this finished seam line. Usually your back is a little bigger than your front. Mine is about the same. I really want to blend this in so that it's pretty much on track by the time I get right around here, so that I don't have to change any of these pattern pieces. But you can already see my pocket stay probably is going to need a little bit extra right here because it's swung out a tiny bit. So we'll just need to remember that. I feel like this may, I'm going to see if this is a right angle. I'm going to actually make this a right angle and add a little bit to the back. You know me, I like my right angles at the sides, at the seam junctures. This is my point right there. So I lost 3/8 down here, so we'll add it back here. 3/8, 5/8. Can I do it? Maybe I want a less of a hem circumference. I kind of want my skirt to be balanced. I'm looking at that right angle. Yeah, right about here. I'm gonna stick to that about right there. I'm looking at this right here. Like that. And then my right angle here. And this one here. I've never used those color catchers. I keep meaning to. Oh, thanks, Jan. Yeah, I really like it. I feel like I could do scouts every day a different way. All right, I'm going to start cutting some of the pattern off just so I can see it better and you guys can see it better as well. Oh, let's add our hem. I'm going to add the hem allowance right now. I'm just going to add 1.25 inches. That's a safe amount. Now remember, I'm trying to use my existing pattern pieces, so I'm trying to use the least amount of pieces I need to. I'm not wording that correctly. I'm trying to alter the fewest amount of pieces so that we don't have to do a whole pattern overhaul on this pattern. All right, so let's look at that. Let's take the hem off. This is definitely certain. And I'm going to leave that side seam right there because we're going to also walk it to the back side seam. All right, I'm really committing to this center back curved seam. Oh, I'm going with this one. That's the one I'm going with, right? I trimmed it a little more. What if I just added to that back waist a little and tapered it in over there? You know, this is the thing, is like you got to be really careful making some of your pattern adjustments. Just because they look weird doesn't mean they're wrong. So I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to trim this here, but I think I actually picked the other spot. Let's just get a little bit of this pattern out of the way so that we can see it really nice. One 1/4 for the hem. And remember, this might change because I haven't walked my side seams together yet. All right, let's look at it on here. This is this. I'm just going to look at it on the back side here. I'm looking for my grain line. Okay. And that's the side seam. That looks like the side seam, but that's there's my butt right there. Here's my pocket. I mean, honestly, maybe I will come in a little bit. I kind of want it to like hug the center back, not flare out. I don't like that. I don't like it when it kind of flares out right at the hem below your butt. You know what I mean? But let's see how that affects us over here. Yeah, I think I might. I lift it up over and over to see what the line looks like underneath, and yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to trim this here. I'm going to add it back. 10 7/8. B route right there. 10 7/8. Yeah, that's about right there. Plus my 5/8" seam. So yeah, I really need to get there right there. And actually, I'm happy about that. I'm going to try and curve this. Alright, so I'm going to trim my side seam on my front and use it for my back. Oh, I'll add it back, Janice, don't worry. I am no stranger to tape. That looks pretty good. So here's my original pant line right here. We chopped off the crotch area and we added this right here for the hem circumference. Got a little bit back of our hip circumference there. So I actually might have a tiny bit extra hip around, but that'll be okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind it being kind of loose. I want a casual skirt. I'm not going for tight pencil. So I want something that is like kind of taking the place of shorts, so I feel a little bit nicer than jean shorts, you know. I have some jean shorts. It's pretty much all I have, and I don't even wear them. I just wear dresses. I just like dresses. So, all right. So let's look at my front compared to my back here. So let's walk it a little bit. I'm trying to get over to here. Oh. I'm doing that thing I always forget to do. All right, make sure when you're making your side seam that you put your pattern piece in there. You need to be able to see all the way up to the waist. So put your pocket in there. And remember that my pocket right now goes to this line right here. Just line all this up right here. I use removable tape so it's not problem. There we go. And then let's get my yoke on there. And I'm going to tape it so that it is correctly overlapped at the side seam here, like this. So it's going to jut out like that on the back. It's in the back. Oh, that's right. These patterns are drafted so that I have a left and a right. All right, so there's my side seam up there. Let's overlap it. I'm going to walk it. I'm trying to still, like I said, get over to there, and I'm trying to decide if I want to do it that much. Kind of look at this. There's my center back right there. So they actually are almost balanced if I kind of do that. Kind of looking at that right there. Something like that. Always walk it on the seam line. Don't walk it on this cut edge. That's inaccurate. So right here is my 5/8 inch seam allowance right here. So I want to overlap it right here at this juncture, because it doesn't matter what your seam allowance is. You just need to make sure you're walking it on the correct seam line there. So I'm just going to walk it here. So I'm like putting my pencil 5/8 of an inch here and I'm walking it. This is a very old school way to do it. And see how right when I get to this point, it's almost a little too much to stay, like I could stay on that original line I was going to try out, right? That looks pretty good. But I'm trying to gain back a little bit of my hip there. And so I'm kind of feeling it out, like if I swing all the way, is it getting a little too much? Let's keep walking. And now I really want to make sure that when I get down to here, that whatever this side seam is gets perpendicular to the hem. And I can see my hem right there, and I can see my hem right here. So now I know my front's about 1/4 inch long. That's no big deal at all, but it is parallel. This hem is parallel to the back there, and so I know that it's balanced. And so I kind of want to stay right here. You can make it perpendicular and match and all that, but you might get a strange little whoop-de-doo at the side seam there. So I think starting here is good. This is a pretty full hem circumference, just so you guys know. It's a little bit like if it came straight off my hips. So I actually don't need the kick pleat. There's enough circumference that I can walk around. I'm kind of just going by a couple of skirts. I'm like, this is comfortable. I don't like feeling hemmed in. I don't like tripping going upstairs. You guys know how I'm a klutz already, right? What did I do with my pencil? Oh, I'm holding it. So let's just leave it about right there. And I'm looking that right there. I'm off in my length, but at least this hem is parallel to that hem right there. So let's use a different color. Let's use a different color so we can kind of keep track here. That is blue, right? Yeah. And then we're going to blend this in right here. So we don't want a little divot. Right now we have this little divot. So we're just going to kind of do our best to blend that in. I can add that to that, but I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be really conservative with the amount of pattern adjustments I need. I'm going to just make my front 1/4 inch smaller because I gave myself a generous hem allowance anyway, so that worked out. I really only need an inch hem because I like to fold it 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch and top stitch down. I like the hem to be filled on the jeans so that when it goes to the laundry, it hopefully doesn't get those weird little wrinkles inside of it, you know? So, all right, so that feels pretty good. Now let's see if I can smooth out this side seam on the back here. I don't want any weird bumps. I got plenty of those already, am I right? All right, so let's kind of smooth this out here. Let's look at it on the back side. So this is my side seam. This is how these are actually going to sew together. So this is the front, this is the back. Remember, there's a yoke here like this. Here's your little dart on your side seam, or big dart in my case. I need to add a little bit to this stay right here. See that? It's not matching all the way up there. And if I don't, it'll just kind of do something funny inside. So I might as well just adjust that pattern piece. Looking at that. This looks pretty good though. All right, so the kick pleat, we can do a few different methods. And just gonna tape this pattern back here. So if you're doing a really tight skirt, you guys decided to do a really narrow hem, you absolutely need something so you can lift your leg up. You really can't get away with that unless it's knit. And even then, the worst thing is when you're at home and you're carrying, you know, your bowl of ice cream, your glass of water, your phone's under your arm, maybe your craft bag or whatever the heck you're carrying upstairs to go and, you know, watch a movie, in my case, play PlayStation. You're carrying all that and you're still wearing your street clothes and you can't get your legs up very well, but you're like, it's okay, it's cute this way. And then your pug is circling your feet at the bottom as you're going up the stairs and you have an accident. You don't want to spill the ice cream. It's all about that. So make sure you put that little kick pleat in there. Because worse, this is going to happen when you're in a public place going up a stairwell and you're really proud of your home sewn outfit and all of a sudden you're like, I can't walk up the stairs. So we're making today, I don't even think I said hi to you earlier, Karen. Yeah, exactly. Social distancing lockdown months. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Right, Sydney? Yeah, exactly. I'm just keeping it real, you guys. Like, that is all, like, at home, I feel like I'm a walking circus. There's usually 2 dogs walking around me, and I'm holding too many things, and one of them is really important, like ice cream, you know? So, you need a little bit of a pleat. Now, you can do this a few different ways. I'm just going to add, like, a 1.5 inch facing back here. And I think I'll make it about... I'm going to make it about 5 inches, so I need to include my hem, and I'm going to kind of angle a little bit, something like that. Well, that's a little big. So I added a 1.5 inch parallel line to back here, and then I'm going to make this a little shallower, and this is about 5/8 right here. Down to here. So, and then the length, so that line right there, that is 6 5/8 here to right there. And then, yeah, I just did a 1/2 inch lower. Something like that. And I might sew this differently than that is. I'm just going to start with that. You can just do a really simple, you can just hem an opening like you do on a side seam of a shirt. You can do this a lot of different ways. We'll just add this facing and maybe try and make it a little classier than I'm known for. I think this is easier to iron personally because it's not just this folded back hem that can get kind of bumpy. Or my pet peeve is when my hems in my laundry do this. They fold up on themselves and they stay like that no matter what you do to iron them or stitch it down. I don't know. It's like that's one of my lifelong experiments is why certain hems fold up on themselves and certain ones don't, you know? Karen, that's hilarious. Exactly. Oh, you're going to make a tank top? Yeah, woven or knit? Woven. Ooh. Oh, yes, I know the one you're talking about. I act like I haven't heard of it. What are you going to do this time, Sydney? Are you doing it on the bias at all? Or are you just going to... Yeah, which pattern is it? I almost said the Hadley, but that's another one of you making the Hadley. Alright, so I think this looks pretty good. This is my center back right here, and I don't want to confuse it. I feel like visually this is a little bit confusing because the center back looks higher, you know? That's the back right there. Because this is going to go like this and kind of conform to my body. Oh, the eucalyptus, that's it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay. So there's my little kick pleat. Maybe what I'll do is a couple of notches back here, so I remember this is the center back. As far as like not making it the side seam by accident. Just like that. Because look at this. Don't you think you would accidentally do this? Flip your flip the yoke over. Look at that. That fits so nicely there, doesn't it? Super confusing. So let's actually notch this as well. I bet the pattern is already notched like that, and I just never did it because I didn't really need this reminder. And now I feel like I'm needing this reminder because I think that this right here, I would totally do backwards and wonder why it fits okay, but not that great. And then the next time I sew it, I'd be like, why does this one fit so much better? Because I sewed that one correctly. So I'm just going to put double notches. Always mean back to me or down. In this case, it'll be back. I don't put them in the middle. Never put your notches smack dab in the middle of a piece because then you can sew it incorrectly by flipping the piece over and the notch will match both ways. Always try and cant your notches one way or the other. Oh, nice, Eva. You're on top of it. Yeah, that's awesome. So Sydney, I tried the I made the Scout tee yesterday morning. Wait, Thursday. I keep thinking Thursday is Friday. All day Thursday I thought it was Friday. I even waited for someone at my office and I was like, oh, today's not Friday. But I cut and sewed the Scout in quilting cotton and I did it on the bias thinking I could get away with the whole thing without having darts. And I didn't need darts on the front. I actually liked the way that looked. But I will say, like, the dart, let me show you the difference. The dart on that one, it swings out like this. And on this one, it kind of goes straight down on the body, and it makes a big difference. So, yeah, so what are you doing, Eva? Which tank top did you find? I like the willow a lot, but if you use the willow, I would suggest dropping the armhole a little bit. All right, I'm going to add this little bit to my pocket stay. Removable tape is so handy for stuff like this. So my pocket stay is a little shallow right here. See where I added this amount? That's actually where it's shallow. So I'm just going to trace this piece, my front. Let's put my notches in here. I don't actually care about the belt loop notch, so I'm skipping it. It'll just confuse me. Alright, and then I'm just going to put this one on here and line it all up best I can. Look at how different that is. The funny thing is about this pocket stay is that I feel like this is extra. This fabric shouldn't go all the way to the center front rise. It's too bulky. The Jilly, Willow, and Victory tanks. The Victory's my least favorite. I love the others. The Jilly, what's that? I've never heard of that one. Are yours knit, Eva? The Willow's not. I know that, but the Jilly? The Victory isn't either, right? So on the Ash jeans, I actually made this kind of stop right here where the center front is. And I only made it a single layer of fabric here. So I might try and do that, but we'll do it on the fly. Because you know me, I always love, screwing up this pocket stay every single time I sew this pair of jeans. Have you guys ever seen me do it successfully? I'm like, oh, let's sew the zipper fly. Oh, I forgot about the pocket stay again. All mine are hand sewn in. All woven. Oh, nice. Okay, that's cool. What's the Jilly, Eva? Who stopped by? I'm going to cut that off just a second. Let me cut out my pocket stay so that it actually matches. Like that. measure this one here. This one needs the same thing. Yep. All right. You could just tape to your pattern piece that little bit that you're missing there, but I might as well have a separate pattern. All right, so I'm going to trace this one on here, and then I'm going to use that pocket opening for this piece. So now I have both my pocket stays. So not bad. Like, we got away with making the entire jean skirt pattern. We only had to make our pocket stays again. So that's pretty good, I think. And doing a couple of extra notches. Oh, ready to sew. Okay. Texana Tank by Blank Slate. Ooh. So did you guys see that Friday Pattern Company had a new pattern for free? It's the called the Sunday V-neck. It's a raglan. I'm gonna sew that next week, I think, after the skirt. And then maybe I'll just brave sewing the Alcott in the knit from Hearts. So I don't know if you're still here, Megan, but I haven't gotten any projects from them. They do plan on sending the Hudson, but I don't think right now they need any extra coverage. And so they may want to hold off because their supply is getting so low. If they gave me a fabric to promote, it might be gone by the time I sewed it. You know? All right, this is my pocket stay for the jean skirt. So the one that doesn't have the cutout right here where the pocket facing goes is the under stay, and then this is the top stay, meaning it sits above it. So this one sews directly to the jeans, and then this one goes underneath just like that. My glasses are just wrecked, man. All right, so we're gonna hang these back up so I don't accidentally cut those. Ooh, how do they compare? You know, I've made tunic number 1. Okay, the camera's gonna jiggle. Sorry, guys. I'm using my hole punch. Oh, you already made one, Genevieve? Nice. And you made it on Sunday? Appropriate. Ah, so how did the sleeve fit him, Genevieve? Because it looks like they say that the one they put on the model, the guy, they put a smaller size on him, and it looks really like there's a lot of wrinkles right there. But then I was like, oh, they put a smaller size on him, and then on the gal, it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like it's binding up on the underarms, so I wasn't sure. I got a cute little fabric combo with like pink sleeves. I just totally bought it spur of the moment because I could tell things were going so fast in the shopping cart. I was like, oh, there's a competition happening right now, and I don't like that. That's kind of stressful. I don't like competitive shopping. All right, so let me mark my pattern here. Center back, cut 2. All right, any notches? This one here. We're good. Let's cut this out. I'm gonna get rid of my pens and pencils here. calculator I do not know how to shut. Here we go. Alright, so I need the fly shield, the waistband, the pocket facing, back pockets. On the Ginger jeans, there's asymmetrical. So you need to make sure you flip it when you cut it out. It's got this little hip curve here. The fly shield, which is interfacing. The yoke, pocket stays, which is in lining fabric. And then the front and the back. I prefer they're slightly less loose on. Yeah, I love how you're like, this is how I want it to fit him. I am using a stretch denim, but like I said, you could make your jean skirt not in stretch denim, or even a canvas, or a linen cotton canvas. I feel like with a jean skirt type of thing, it doesn't have to be jeans. I'm going to lighten up the camera. I got this really great sweet spot on the other stream that's crashed today for the lighting. I was so excited about it, and now I couldn't get it back. It was acting all weird. Exposure is really tricky. See, it's kind of dark. Let me see if I can get the auto exposure on. That's what I was working on. What do you think? Really? Wow. What kind of store? Grocery? I'm going to cut my pocket stays first so I can get rid of this. Remember this fabric? I just thought that was upside down. Didn't that look upside down? There we go. That looks right side up to me. Oh, I forgot my grain line on here. Not as key, but, you know. It might be if you have something you want to match. All right. I just want to make summer clothes right now. How about you? Oh, right. At Joann's. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think sewing is kind of a boom. And not just mask making, you know? But I definitely got enough scraps from all the mask making to fill my closet case floor poof, which was kind of fun. Oh my gosh, I thought I marked on the fabric right there. I was like, what the heck? What's that? I just have a bin now right next to my table for the fabric scraps. I used to always have that, but it was a pillow. It would be like almost all the way sewn, and I would just stuff the pillow as I got scraps. It was great. Great system. Now I have kind of the same thing. Wow, the first time in 40. Wow. Okay, so maybe, what do you think of that auto exposure? Is that too much for you guys? I'll try and be conservative if I can, because I think I'd have enough to do a pair of pants afterward. Maybe, maybe not. Like I say, you have to buy the denim in such weird amounts sometimes. So I'm looking at my grain line, making it parallel to the selvage, and then I have all these other pieces here. 2 pockets, 2 pocket facings. I hate it when my yoke doesn't fit, you know. Thigh shield, I only need 1 of those, so let's pull these off. Okay. Maybe I can get these, yeah. So I like it to be as tight as possible. If I do this, and this, and this, I might get my yoke in there now. Yeah, okay. Here we go. So, with denim, there is this, because it's a twill weave, if you're using anything a twill weave like a lot of canvases, not duck, but canvas has a twill weave. Any of those diagonal lines that you see on fabric or on your jeans, that's a twill weave. That has a tendency to make the fabric kind of torque. If you've ever bought a pair of jeans or pants that's kind of cheap, and you can feel like your seam on the inside of your leg kind of in the wrong spot, it's kind of torquing and kind of traveling. Like I have 1 pair of jeans that I made that this right leg, I feel the inseam in the wrong spot. Like I can feel it pulling, you know? So that's what you're feeling, and you need to just make sure to combat that as well as possible, that you cut your fabric on the grain line. So make sure your grain line is parallel to the selvage, and that really helps. And then just make sure that your selvages are parallel to each other. Oh, Genevieve, thank you. Oh my God, look at that. How'd you do that? That is hilarious. Look at that. That's so cute. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I appreciate it. All right. Oh, I need to slide this up a little bit. I can feel my, look at that. Oh, kind of close. All right, let's see here. Oh, you know, that reminds me, you guys, I don't know what is going on, but all of a sudden, I am selling so much of the knit print fabric on Spoonflower. I couldn't believe when they were sending me what they were sending me, like, as far as my payout goes. Usually I make about 17, usually like around $17 a month, you know, and it's like a lot more now. And I don't know if they're featuring it somewhere or what, but it's pretty exciting. I've been selling that fabric for years. All right, so be real careful with that inside angle right there. See that? I'm gonna pick it. I kind of pull it away and kind of ooch away at the cutting with the rotary knife, because those interior corners are always really tricky. I kind of pick up my fabric and pull it against the blade so I don't get too deep, and I make sure I get both layers. All right. I have my new markers, but they're not gonna work on the denim. Oh, really? Yeah, that is really cool. I've seen the super sticker thing, but I didn't know that's what it did. It's really huge. I don't know if it's that huge for you guys, but it's for me. I love it. I know, I've been sending a lot of like bits. That's what they call it in Twitch, and bits. And they're not like the most affordable way for the person to send money, but the streamer gets all of it. And I kind of like that. So I've been doing that a lot lately. And it's just like, you can pick your little emote that comes up. It's pretty cute, but it's not like that. Yeah, and I've seen something called Super Chat, and I think someone sent one once, and I was like, oh, there's my friend. Yeah, I do think I might go back to just monetizing the stream. I feel like that. I was thinking about what Walter said. He was like, yeah, you just do all avenues possible. And I was like, you know, he's probably right. I don't know. I just know the ads are so annoying. Okay. Let me use this one here. I don't always cut around my pattern pieces like this, but in fact, it's really risky and it's a really bad idea. And I'm in that boat right now of do as I say, not as I do, because you have the risk of cutting your pattern piece, not, you know, and then you lose your pattern piece forever, you know, whatever you shave off of it. So if you can trace it on there, that's better. You know, so that's just my little lecture. Oh, well, that would have been a cheeky back pocket. What's my front look like? What the heck? Okay, those are okay. See, that's what I'm talking about. Remember I told you I sometimes cut pieces of fabric off? Well, oh well. All right, we have one pocket so far. Let's do this one. Bye, Barbara. Nice seeing you. Gotta do some work. I gotta do some of that work too. My husband and daughter went to a dog park that no one goes to today, and they brought the RV, and they've been sending pictures of the dogs. They just love the RV. It's so funny. What are these notches here for? Oh, that's for the coin pocket. I don't need those. All right, so now I got room here for this yoke. I still need to do my pocket, one pocket. Let's get this line like this. Terry. I know that. I'm at the, you know, we decided to buy a house if things aren't crazy enough. And I'm at the, well, I don't need to do that now phase of planning, you know. I'm like, okay, well, I was going to do that. Well, I'm not going to do that now. We won't be here. What I should be doing is probably packing. I can't believe we're going to be packing and moving. Not the stream, though. This is going to stay here, so we don't have to worry about me being down for that. Yeah, we're down to the cutting out part, Conrad, the best part. The best part. All right, let's get the, we did the back, right? Yep. All right, now we're going to do the front. So for the waistband, I'm of a few different minds on like what grain line you should pick to cut your waistband out on. This waistband for the ginger jeans has you do it like this. So it's the length grain is running across the shortest distance of the waistband. So there's other ways to do this. People will cut them on the bias, you know, like this. I've seen them on the length grain. This is how I was taught how to do it, was put like collars and waistbands on the length grain. And I'll just run through some of the options. The bias is going to give you a really stretchy waistband, and some people really like that, and some people really don't like that. I don't like it because I don't like my waistband stretching out over the day, but it is a little more comfortable. If you do it across the cross grain, especially with a stretch fabric, you're going to get a lot of stretch in there. So you're kind of in the same boat. And then if you do it on the length grain, depending on your fabric, you get the least amount of stretch. That's my preferred way usually, but I do it both ways. I do it this way and this way. You can also line the waistband with something that doesn't stretch at all to kind of fix it in place, and that's probably what I'll do. Yeah, Jan, I had, but this place came up really suddenly, and it's kind of everything my husband's ever wanted. So, you know, and it's amazing, you know, it's smaller, which is what I wanted. We don't have a very big house to begin with, but I like things kind of compact. It has running water on the property, which is pretty cool. my internet's gonna be pretty much booty cheeks out there. So I won't be streaming there, I don't think. Just to put it mildly. Alright, so I need one of these and one of these still, so we can just cut this little chunk off and reserve it for that. Like that. And we need it to be face down, like that. Alright, so let's get rid of this. My daughter's so excited about it. It's pretty cute. The other day I was Googling guinea hens and rattlesnakes because apparently guinea hens don't tolerate rattlesnakes, and there has been rattlesnakes out there. I was like, huh. They will surround it and they won't let it get anywhere. Yeah, the selvage is nice, isn't it, Terry? I agree. I did have to iron it, so you're seeing it nice and flat, and it wasn't like that, just so you know. Then I gotta go, exactly. No, it is really, like, I kind of was like, of course, yeah, let's do it, you know, because I really want, you know, it's really pretty. The person built their home, and now they're retiring to the coast, and there's just a lot of like thoughtful things that we would have probably done ourselves. It's got a little cottage so we can move Michael's grandma home, which is going to probably add a whole nother layer. And I was kind of like, you know, of course you need to do this. This is what you've always wanted. But I was taking it kind of badly at first, I will admit. All right, so this little notch right here that you have on the Ginger Jeans pattern, it just shows up as a notch or a dot, I think. I cut mine right off the bat so I don't have to mark it, because you will need it for when we do the zipper fly. So just, you can notch all the way to it. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you to do when we go to sew it. It'll be okay. Just don't fiddle with it. After you notch it and cut it, just kind of leave it there so it doesn't get any fraying or anything like that. Alright. We just have a couple more pieces to go. Wish I could see the grain line. I have this fold right here. I'm just going to kind of use that as my grain line since I had it folded with it like that. With the fold was parallel to the selvage. I know this fabric kind of probably does something weird to the camera. So, we haven't really talked much about Me Made May. I feel like this year, there's going to be more people never sewing, but at the same time, there's like less and less fabric to pick from. I was thinking of a few things, like doing a month of, like, these are a few of my favorite things, because it's also my birthday month, and so I always kind of focus on the things I really like to sew during my birthday. So I thought about that. I also thought about doing something maybe I've never done before, like undergarments. I want to do a week of mending and taking care of our handmaids, because I definitely have some that need some TLC. Alright, so how am I going to do this? I hate how much fabric. Look at this. I'm basically left with probably a pair of shorts. You know, and honestly, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a seam back here to conserve fabric and stabilize my waistband. I sort of want to do it across the cross grain because it would use less fabric, but it's so stretchy. Super stretchy. I could make some Mountain Dew pull-ons with this. If I am down here, I could do that. I think that's what I'll do. Do I go by this grain line or this grain line? I'm going to try an experiment. Usually the grain line is straight right back here. And when it gets to the center front, it's at a diagonal. And you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm going to put the straight grain on the center front. Ooh, sorry, the camera's kind of bright. I'm going to put the grain line here and here. I feel like that'll be so much better for getting my waistband to line up at the center front and not get all wingy. You know, I get these little corners that kind of wing out, and it's because it's all in the bias right there. So that's my plan. You heard it here. I'm going to, I kind of want to cut this off. Let's open it up. Might as well. What do you think of that auto exposure? It's a little much, isn't it? Let's turn it this way, actually. So like I said, I'm going to put the center front on the grain line. And I'm going to put a center back seam on the fly. This one here, I forgot my notch right there. I can see it. I kind of revised my waistband pattern before the stream because I wanted it asymmetrical. Okay, so this is the left front. And now we're going to do the right front. I almost flipped it and that would have been bad. I would have had the inside of one side and the outside of the other if I'd flipped it over. Maybe we could do the chat bag next month. That's an option. Okay. And then there's this one. So let's put them right sides together. And I'm going to remind myself that I pinned it at the center front. So that I know this is the center front. And then now I need a facing fabric for that. Do you think I have enough of the floral? I don't know. All right, all our pieces are done. Let's get rid of the denim. Hopefully the screen doesn't stay. There we go. Yeah. You're like, I don't know. What's for dinner? My husband does the cooking. I'm really lucky. I mean, the thing is, you guys, like, if he didn't do the cooking, nothing much would change. I just wouldn't have started cooking. I don't like to cook. If you want cookies or a cake or an elaborate dessert, I'm your gal. That's about it. Let's see. Do I have enough? Ooh. I might have enough on different grain lines. I don't know though. do you think? This is the length grain right here, which is actually how I cut it. I can get this one here. I'm gonna put the pin in the center front. Dang, my glasses are so wrecked right now. Let's see. Nothing like a little bit of fabric chicken. Oh, I need to put this face down. Oof. Face down. How much fabric chicken is too much fabric chicken? I could piece it together. What do you guys think? Should I do it, piece it together? It would match my pocket stays kind of nicely. What is with everyone making cinnamon, like I want, like people have been baking cinnamon rolls. I was actually in a Twitch chat the other day and a gal was like, should I make cinnamon rolls or pizza? I was like, cinnamon rolls. Everyone else voted pizza. She only had enough yeast for one or the other recipes. I love making cinnamon rolls, but they're kind of a pain if you want to have them in the morning because you have to let the dough rise and all that. And I'm not the best with yeasted things. But I do have like a fake cinnamon roll recipe I can do. And then I saw someone on Instagram post a picture of her cinnamon rolls. And now I want cinnamon rolls. And now Eliza's making cinnamon bread. Eliza. Terry just had to rearrange all of her lawn furniture, her deck furniture. So the outdoors is calling everybody. I'm almost done. You guys can go do your gardening stuff. All right, so I think I'm gonna piece this together maybe. Let's see. Could I get it? Is this the same direction? Oh yeah, it is. Could I get this here? If I piece that, and then that. Can I get this here? Ooh. Maybe. And then these could be on the same grain line. All right, that's what I'll do. I think I'll just piece these together. Oh, that's smart, Terry. You know what I like to do is use I have a bread machine that I've never baked bread in. I use it to make the dough. So if we want pizza that night, I'll just start at 4 o'clock and I'll just throw all the ingredients in there and press the dough button. That's my version of cooking, you guys. Yeah, you need to mail these home. I really want to, and we can't find yeast anywhere. My husband's going to look again today because he actually dabbles in bread baking. He has this really cool cast iron bread oven that you put in your oven. So it's like this little cast iron dome and, you know, that lifts off. So, you know, you can, whatever, it's not a whole one piece. So it's like a cast iron bottom and then the dome and you bake your bread in it. And it comes out amazing. He got it on Kickstarter. And so he dabbles in that, but he hasn't in a while. Yeah, catch 22 indeed, Angela, right? Wow. That's a good hobby, Milan. My daughter has been perfecting a cookie recipe lately, and I'm like, I'm kind of done with cookies right now. Sorry, Glenn. We're talking about cinnamon rolls, not chocolate. Got to do sourdough. That's smart. That's a great idea. Because I can actually probably find sourdough starter from a local bread shop. I know my friend doesn't give it away, but she it's really cheap. Or no, it's free. Her sourdough starter is free. All right, so I'm going to piece together this waistband piece. Because I want it to match my pocket stays. So here's one. And this one needs to be pieced together. So let's just overlap this. The amount the seam allowance will be like that. 1 inch for that. And then try and get this piece on here. Perfect, just like that. Trying to still respect the grain line best I can. We'll pin this together. I'm determined to keep working on those little mini quilt blocks too, because I'm not a quitter. I am not a quitter, and even as much as I'm kind of like, all right, this experiment is kind of done in my head, I really like the end result, and I want to finish it through. One of the next ones is kind of easy too, so I'm like, all right, let's do it. Okay. There we go. So I just need to sew those two together. I'll get rid of that ink line too so it doesn't show through. Yeah. I like the way these are going to look on the inside already. Maybe I'll save this for scrap. Alright, we're done. I just need the interfacing for my fly shield and my waistband. Oh, here's another piece, you guys. Oh my gosh. It wouldn't have worked. Never mind. I'm just going to use poplin. That's what I like to use for my waistbands. So, yeah, I know. You know what I think? The whole, like, people grabbing all the yeast. I got all kind of surly about it because I was kind of upset that we couldn't find any. And I was like, you know, I don't want them to do that. You know, I really like the Bob's Red Mill yeast. That's like a kind of a lot, and we just keep it in the fridge and it lasts forever. I don't buy it in the little tiny packets. I usually buy it either in a bulk bin, if I can find it in a bulk bin, or Bob's Red Mill, which is kind of local to the West Coast. They do all kinds of milled grains and stuff like that. Really good quality. Cricket. There's my daughter, you guys. Okay. If I want in and out, I can do that. That's fine. Is that what you want today? I'll do it. You're drawing in your car? What are you drawing? All right, so I'm going to cut the interfacing piece all in one. I bet Dad didn't want any in and out either, huh? So you had to find someone to take you up on it. This will work right here. You can use fusible. I just, I don't know. I just like poplin. It's just my thing. Oh, you've been there, Sydney? That's really cool. Of all the things you could be watching Cricket, and you're watching me. You just want me to see your text. I get it. I usually check my phone pretty good. Yeah, we got it the other day, and it was like so exotic. You know, it's not something that we actually like that much or eat at very often. And but it just sounded good to both of us, and so we did it, and it was so good, wasn't it, Cricket? Oh, you are? That's nice. You saw the triplets? That's pretty cool. I'm almost done, Cricket. You can go whenever. Yeah, and she got up there, and they were like wearing masks and gloves. They don't even touch your payment. It's pretty, they set it up pretty good. Oh, man. I hate when that happens. Try and keep this nice and relaxed so that I know it's still lined up. Oh, I know. Sydney's Winery does do that virtual tasting. That was pretty cool. Cool. Thanks, Cricket. I tell you, I feel really lucky to have a kiddo Cricket's age going through this whole virus because it's a lot easier. I can't imagine all of you folks with smaller children how you're doing and stuff. Why am I notching this? You don't need to notch your interfacing. She's definitely getting, robbed of her graduation, but she's really handling it like a good sport. So, Cricket cameo. Cool. All right, we're done. Let's check it out. Here's my front. Now that we're not looking at my pattern pieces, let's see how we feel. I still share your guys' trepidation, if you guys have it, about that curve, but it looks way more normal to me now that I'm not looking at all my crazy lines. Here is the back pockets. He said no, aw. It's not for everybody. It's my fly shield. My yoke, which looks already upside down to me. Here's the pocket stays. Pocket stays. Pocket facing. Waistband. Interfacing. We're ready. We're ready to sew a jean skirt. Cool. All right, well, we'll do this on Wednesday. And then next week, what do you guys think? Are you guys interested in that Sunday V-neck? It's a knit raglan. Free pattern by Friday Pattern Company. So you can all download it if you want. I still need to tape mine together. It is like, I want to say it's like 17 or 24 pages. But if you saw in my PDF, how to print PDF pattern video, she has layers in the print at home. So you can uncheck all the sizes you don't want to see, and it makes the printout so clean. So that's pretty cool. And then let's see. God, what date is it? Oh, it's almost May. Oh, Eliza, that makes me. Terry, you're not a Luddite, Terry. You're in a YouTube live chat. I'm sorry, I don't have much sympathy for you. You're more progressive than you give yourself credit. Eliza, what are we doing? Oh, so next week I was thinking of the Sunday V-neck by Friday Pattern Company. It just came out. It's a free pattern. If you go to their website, I think it's on a blog. And it's unisex sizing. I won't say my bit about how I feel about the word unisex. But it does have lots of sizes. And I ordered some fabric from Hearts for it. I'm going to do some color blocking on there. And I'm just going to deal with my serger or whatever it gives me. I may just fudge the hem, not do the cover stitch thing. And then we'll sew these on Wednesday. And then we'll cut and sew the Friday, Thursday. It is, huh? It is Me Made May. It's Wednesday, Glenn? Shoot. Oh my God. Escrow. Anyway, we're in a 45-day escrow. We closed the beginning of June, so you got me for May. Yeah, so Wednesday the jean skirt, we'll sew those. I'll sew those all the way through. I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty straightforward. And then Thursday, Saturday, we'll do the Friday Pattern Company. We'll kick off Me Made May. What if we did all free patterns for May? No Friday. No Friday. What do you mean, Glenn? Oh, Wednesday is Friday's the 1st of May? Yeah, Friday's the 1st of May. Got it. Okay. Of course, Genevieve. Thank you again for the super chat sticker. That was really generous of you. Cut the Fridays, Sunday on Thursday. Oh, okay. So... It's fine. Okay, thanks, Deb. Someone found the virtual wine tour. Okay, so yeah, it's called the Sunday V-neck. I'm going to cut it out on Thursday. We're going to sew it on Saturday. Yeah. Okay, so I don't have a picture of it. Otherwise, I would show you it. But it's the Friday Pattern Company has a free pattern. So why are they? Yeah, there's so many days of the week. So there's a pattern company called Friday Pattern Company. They came out with a free pattern called the Sunday V-neck. I'm cutting it next Thursday. I'm sewing it next Saturday. Hey Helen, how's it going? Too many weekdays. I'm writing a strongly worded letter to them. Yeah, exactly, Sydney. Exactly. Just show up. That was a lot of days of the week. I feel like Monday and Tuesday are like, what about us? Cool. All right, you guys. Yeah. So we'll get some stuff done. So what do you guys think about Me Made May? Like, what are you thinking? What are your goals? So remember, Me Made May is a lot of folks. I'm just going to prepare you guys because some of you might have never participated in Me Made May or have never heard of it or just don't really know what it's about. The original intent of Me Made May is to just, think about making something for yourself, maybe making something or highlighting something you've made. It is, the whole thing behind it is not to post something every day that you made. You do not have to do that. I don't want you to feel pressure to do that. I don't do that, and I specifically do it because I don't want people to feel like, wow, I've only made 3 things. How could I do this for 31 days? You know what I mean? So, you want to try an actual sew along? What do you want to sew along? Oh, you're welcome, Deb. I'm glad it was helpful. It would be your first Me Made May. Nice, Eva. That's awesome. Oh, no. You're his wine tester. He doesn't need the wine tasting. You're it. So, a sew along would be, I want to do another sew along as well. We did one last year, but I feel like I was pretty much the primary person doing it. So what do you guys think? What would you guys like to sew along? We can throw something together. What do you want to do? What I'm doing is fine. Yeah, so we did those Mountain View pull-ons. That was a really fantastic sew along. I think we all lucked out that it was like someone suggested that pattern and it was great and we all loved it. So, I know, I want to do, I've thought of a few things next month. I've thought about doing some of my favorite patterns like the Burnside bibs, a dress, and just like, oh, you just bought the Pietro, okay. And being in May, yeah. Oh, you made the Cali with me and Liza last year? Yeah, that's awesome. That was fun. The Pietra pants are cute. That's another closet case, right? Summer, I know. I think so too. Summer clothes. So we're going to starting off with the skirt at the end of April. I know. I was thinking like a bunch of scouts would be fun. Yeah, I agree, Ramona. We wouldn't mind a dress. I have the Myosotis dress, but I don't know about the size range on that. But I feel like it's pretty, it has 2 views. Ooh, Terry. I love that idea. Yeah, back elastic waist for those Pietro pants is a great idea. Yeah. I've been thinking about that too. I've been thinking about converting my ginger jeans pattern, or the Morgan jeans would be a good one, to a back elastic waist. Am I getting old? We should have probably been thinking about what to do in May back in March. Right? Yeah. Well, let me think about it. And let's all come with ideas on Wednesday. So you guys have homework. Culottes. Did you see that Needle Sharp has the Tanya culottes as one of the stay home and sew boxes? Yeah, me too, Eva. Or Stretch. Last year, my goal for Me Made May was to make myself a t-shirt pattern. So I would stop buying t-shirts, and I did. Is it too late to do what you're doing? You can do whatever you want, Ramona. You want to join me? Yeah. I mean, maybe let's do do you guys, okay, that's it. Your homework for Wednesday and Thursday is to come up with a couple of ideas for Me Made May. Yeah, no, you have a homework, Eliza, homework. Sydney. Oh, that's awesome, Helen. That's great. I love those things. No, you have homework. You guys need to come up with either a month-long theme or a sew-along, and the sew-along needs to be something that can be size inclusive and a pattern we can all get, whether we can print it at home or have it shipped to us, because we're going to be running tight on time to get it going. So I feel like maybe it's got to be, what if we did a, like I like the idea of doing week themes. Like 1 week being like mending of our things. 1 week being finish all of our unfinished projects. And then 1 week being like something I've never tried before. You look like a barn in the Tanyas. I do feel a bit like a parade float. I like parade float rather than barn, Eliza. Yeah, I totally agree, Genevieve. I love those. I have 3 pairs of those. And those have curvy options. Yeah, I think like, it's a skirt though. If you look at it like a skirt, I think the Tanyas are nice. And they feel really nice, Sydney. Don't let that discourage you. You like the themes? All right, so let's come up with themed weeks for May. And then we'll focus on doing a sew-along for the summer. All right? Finish in a week, not possible. I just mean like little things. Yeah, and showcasing free patterns. Okay, so you guys all come up with some themes, and then Wednesday and Thursday we're going to decide on our themes for Me Made May. How's that? Does that work for you guys? And then that way we're not having to try some big ambitious thing, and people can just jump in on whatever theme they want, and then we can all do it together. So I think that sounds like fun. And we're starting off with a free pattern, so that'll be good. So, oh yeah, Eliza, that is the, do you want to see a picture of it? I have it right behind me. The, what's it called? I can't see it from here. Oh, Kalispell. The Kalispell dress. This comes in cup sizes. Can you read that? Holy heck, that is weird. 0 to 20 and cup sizes, and it's really got some nice details on it. It's got a waistline right here, but it's got the pleating, so it's kind of flattering. This is so my style dress. It's not for everybody, but I really liked it, and I haven't made it yet. I'm going to make it in some fabric with hedgehogs all over it. Because why not? Oh, let's look at the size chart. So I think this would be, for me, I was thinking about making this for my birthday. So the finished garment measurements, the 20 in the bust is 50 and 5/8. 50 and 58. But that's the finish. Let me see if I can find the size chart for you. There you go. All right, size chart. So the bust is a 45 to, in an A cup, 49 double D. These are inches, sorry, metric folks. The waist 40.5 and the hip 48. It goes down to a 30 in the bust and 33, almost 34 in the hip. There's centimeters below. Yeah. You know what's ironic is that it was her pattern we did our first sew along. We did the Mountain View pull on. I like her pattern drafting. The other thing is the pattern is full color. Oh, can you even see that? Well, let me see. It's full color, so if you can't get, she also designs it so you can print it in layers. In fact, I showed that Mountain View in the PDF video. But you can unclick the sizes you don't want printed. If you can't find a place to print that for you like that, it's nice that she does the full color. And if you just pay a couple bucks extra, at least you can see what size you are in the color. It's kind of a nice little gift to yourself, right? So I was thinking about doing this in some kooky hedgehog double gauze that I got because, and maybe I would do that at the end of the month if you guys wanted to do that. So that's my proposal. We all have to come up with some themes and we'll all kind of decide and try and consider the group with your themes and something that people can jump in on with what they have on hand the best they can. And then we'll all discuss it Wednesday and Thursday and we'll decide. So it'll be a little late for me to like post something on Instagram and tell the world what we're doing. But how about we just say the first week is we're highlighting free patterns. And then that way I can just post that. Does that sound good, you guys? So we'll do the first theme a week is free patterns and we'll highlight that. So I think that's probably a good idea because I need to get ahead on like the thumbnails and all that and start posting stuff so people know what we're doing. So cool. All right. Well, I'm going to head out. It sounds like I'm having In-N-Out for lunch, which is fun. I better be hungry. And we will sew these on Wednesday, and then we're going to sew that other shirt on Thursday and Saturday. Oh, cool, Sydney. Nice. Well, cool. I'm glad, you guys. I think that'll be a really fast sew. That Sunday V-neck will be a pretty quick sew. So, oh, cool, Liza. Nice. Nice. Well, thanks for coming, you guys. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. And remember, you can always check out other past projects on sewso.live, and if you want to support me, I'm on Patreon. And but just take care of yourselves right now. That's all I really want you to do. And let me know what you're sewing and stuff. So, all right, I'll see you guys soon. Take care.